Welcome to day 3 of week 2, the exploring stage of a mindfulness dialogue way of living. Once again, in keeping with the process of connecting, exploring, and discovering, we will begin our session with a brief connecting exercise, and we will use a simple mindfulness meditation for this purpose, as follows, as you have become accustomed to now. So position yourself as you do, comfortable, relaxed, but alert. Take 3 deep breaths. Breathe normally. Try to let go of all your thoughts by paying attention to your breath as you breathe in and out deliberately. Find a rhythm if you can. In your mind, softly say the theme of today, like a mantra, reflective listening. Repeat that a few times. And now continue to deepen your connection to this moment. Give yourself permission to be here, now. When you find yourself distracted, simply return to your breath and the theme of today. And hold that for just a few moments longer. As I said, when you get distracted, return to your breath. Be here. Now. And when you're ready, return to this moment to your body and gently open your eyes. And as I've said before, feel the connection. Notice the connection, the presence, the awareness, the calm, the trust that you feel that surrounds you. Today I want to look at the skill of reflective listening. The term is probably self-explanatory. It means reflecting back to another what you heard them say. It's a very powerful skill, but at the same time simple, and there's more to it though. The purpose is to demonstrate both presence and attention, but also to foster mutual understanding. In terms of the latter, it concludes often with a question as a way of confirming, did I get it right? Is that what you said? Was that what you meant? This allows the other person to clarify or expand on their meaning. Reflective listening always reminds me of the person-centered theory and techniques of the great psychologist Carl Rogers. He's reputed to have said, when you are in psychological distress and someone really hears you without passing judgment on you, without trying to take responsibility for you, without trying to mold you, it feels damn good. Reflective listening, obviously, is more than simply parroting back by repeating the other's words verbatim. In fact, such a response will quickly become counterproductive. Reflective listening is really about capturing the essence or spirit of another's words without judgment or trying to fix or manipulate. Because of this, it involves choices. Choices about, seem obvious to you, it's clearly the other's point of view versus my own, but in practice, we can find ourselves doing the opposite. For example, if someone begins by telling me that they fell and broke their leg when they were in Hawaii, I may fall into the trap of thinking of the time I was in Hawaii and telling them about this. Not the right focus. Number 2, the choice of what to respond to refers to the way all of us mix up important things with less important things when we're telling a story, telling about something. So a person will say something important about themselves, but it may be hidden among descriptions of other things or other people or events in their lives. So the right choice here is to respond to things they say about themselves. So that means clearly you have to be alert and sort of make your way through all of the less important things. Number 3, The choice of the level to respond to is similar to the previous choice, but it refers to the need to focus on feelings rather than content, and specifically feelings that the other expresses rather than feelings I may sense and feel are implicit in what they say. These may surface later, but for now, we should take the lead from the person who's speaking and what they say. Feelings is the focus. Number 4, the choice of the types of feelings to respond to suggests that I respond to negative or ambivalent feelings rather than positive feelings. The reason is the former will tend to be more revealing of what is really going on, the negative or even ambivalent feelings. And 5, the choice of how to respond refers to the tendency we all have, especially in certain circumstances like parenting or friendship, to lead the other person by giving opinions or advice, or even by asking questions, many of which are not really questions, but thinly disguised opinions. The right choice of how to respond is simply to accept and clarify what the other has said at their level, at where they are, not where I am. My interpretation is where they are. I also noted above that this reflective process should include, or rather conclude with a form of invitation to affirm or reject what I have reflected back. Clearly, I may get it wrong, or issues of my own may get in the way and influence not only what I say, but what I hear. We'll come back to that. So concluding with words like, did I get it right? Is that what you said? And so on, gives permission, as it were, to the speaker to participate in this process of understanding. Maybe they might even be inclined to offer a similar reflective listening response to me. When this kind of reflective listening is practiced and becomes part of a conversation, it adds a number of things to the conversation. It adds trust, because I feel listened to. It brings clarity, as I feel understood. And it actually brings the likelihood of collaboration. In other words, continuing the process of deepening the understanding and perhaps resolution of whatever the issue is or what's being brought. The outcome is more likely, therefore, to be the mutual understanding that can lead to the generation and discovery of new shared meaning. That's the ultimate goal. I just love this little piece by the 14th century Persian poet Hafiz, who captures for me the heart of listening. It's called Why Not Be Polite? He says this: everyone is God speaking. Why not be polite and listen to him? Everyone is God speaking. Why not be polite and listen to him? Without going into the theological implications of God speaking, it is perhaps enough to say that how we listen is critical to the kind of relationships we create and the world we make. So let's look at some suggestions for applying reflective listening throughout the day. The choices outlined here suggest obvious application in a general way. I can notice my internal responses or triggers. I can notice how I tend to respond. I can try to be clearer and more skillful about my choices when I try to reflect back. I might attempt this process in an exchange either with the other person's awareness or not. Bring reflective listening to it and see what happens. Remember, the essence of reflective listening is to evoke, to engage, to encourage, not to fix or manipulate or whatever. And I can capture any insights or feelings that this generates in my journal at the end of the day. So my thought is, let's finish with a short mindfulness moment to allow some of the things we've been exploring to settle, as it were. So again, take a comfortable position, relaxed and alert, and take 3 deep breaths. Now try to recall or allow to surface all the things you've heard about reflective listening. Think for a moment what these mean for your life, where they could apply. Now make a personal commitment to bring them into your interactions. Maybe focus on one skill, to simply bring reflective listening to a conversation today, or to notice how I tend to reflect back. In your mind, softly say the theme of today, reflective listening. And now just return to the present moment, to your body, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Real listening clearly is a two-way process. Hearing is one way. Listening is a two-way process. This is because the purpose of listening is understanding, ideally mutual understanding, and not simply the imposition of one perspective. Much social media-based communication tends to be one way, while even our best efforts to respond are limited by other obvious things like the absence of nuance or tone or body language. That doesn't happen in social media. So promoting reflective listening on social media, that would be a fascinating project. It would go a long way towards enhancing a process that is otherwise in danger of realizing the opposite of mutual understanding. But let me give the last word to another piece by Hafez, whom I quoted above. It highlights listening, the power of listening. He says this: how did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise we all remain too frightened. How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise we all remain too frightened. So I hope you get a chance to practice this simple but profound skill of reflective listening today. Bannacht ar an lá seo.